So, you're joining me on what appears to be a cloudy day, hopefully with some sunshine coming, as I drive to the Panzermuseum in Denmark. Now, I did something, and let's roll some footage here. I did something last year for these guys, where I was flying around tanks and explosions and everything. So last year was a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing last year was that they had this event twice, so I got to fly it at 12 o'clock and I got to fly it at 2 o'clock, which we all know is always good when you get multiple tries. The bad thing was that when I asked their technician about which bombs he was going to blow and when, his answer was, I will blow whatever up whenever I feel like it, and then he laughed and left. So that was a little bit scary. This year though, it's going to be different. This year I only have one try to do this, but at the same time I also have a full layout of all the bombs and the sequence of when they're going to blow. But since I'm only one guy, I brought my friend Michael with me today, and he's going to be operating the Mavic 3, and we're going to be flying simultaneously with a third spotter for the both of us. All of this is going to be very interesting, and I hope you agree. And while I'm going to be doing my flight, I will keep this microphone on and do a live commentary, because the way I figure it, if I get blown up by an explosion of some kind, you're going to hear you're going to hear me swearing, and it's going to be fun. And if I do some awesome stuff, I'm probably going to be swearing too. Oh, got to slow down here. There's a deer passing the road. Here you go. Yeah. Welcome to the countryside. I think that deer is happy that I am always looking at the side of the road, because I would have hit that spot on. So all in all, I do think that we're in for an exciting day, and I hope you look forward to it. So let's go. Okay, so we're just about ready. As you can see, the troops are setting up right now. I'm recording, everything seems fine. There's a bit of stress here, but it's only due to safety concerns. There's a tower up here. This is where all the charges are going to be controlled from. And basically, this is the whole battlefield. So in the beginning, there's going to be an explosion here, and then the explosions are going to go like that in a snake trail, until we end up over here where the flak cannon is going to be destroyed. The audience is going to be all the way around, which is definitely extra scary, but we'll see how it goes. So back at the computer, let's roll this footage. I will not show you everything in real time, because that would be very boring, but I do think that there are some interesting points to be shown. This is the raw footage from the Avata. I originally wanted to do a live commentary on this, but honestly, it was just too loud and too hectic. The microphone I had on was just being like all the time. The first moment I realized this was when the first bomb hit. So if you can watch this right now, let's watch this in real time, then go back and have a look at it. I'm sitting at the H, and that whole thing there, so let's have a look at that again. So when this goes off first, this bomb over here, right there, I'm sitting very, very close to it. I'm sitting like right here or something. It just hit me so hard in the chest that, notice my yank to the right with the drone? That was actually me moving physically in the chair. And then I knew that it was going to hit in the water, so I immediately had to focus on that. So that was very tricky. Let's play on here. So first of all, the first 2 minutes of this is pretty boring. Why I want to show you this is because I know some of you really want to see it, especially also because we have the goggles 2 on this. And as we can see right here, there's a lot of breakup. So this whole point, or this whole exercise, is about showing the goggles 2, but also talking about the Avata, because it actually performed really well. Now, you have to remember, I'm on the European CE version of this. So while a breakup like this is pretty major, especially when you're considering I'm sitting 30, 40 meters away, that's like 100 feet, that's pretty insane. On the other hand, the bombs are being controlled up here, and we're sitting right next to the tower. There's a lot of radio interference. So I wouldn't lean too much into that. Now, I could have done this whole flight as a one take, but the idea was never to do it in a one take. The idea was that I had one shot, I had one battery on the Avata, and I had one battery on the Mavic Mini 3, which my friend Michael is flying. And thank you for flying, Michael, because he never flew a Mavic before, and I basically used, 20 minutes to, not even, I used 5 minutes showing him, and he used 20 minutes to practice beforehand on the same day, before he flew. Oh, that was interesting. Let's look at that again. So before he flew. So the whole idea of this was to get a good coordination between what I did and what he did. And so we were talking all the time, and I was trying to plan this out in my head. So before we look at this breakup, the reason I'm flying like this right here, let's have a look at that. Of course, I see the cloud here. I want to go through it. I'm looking at everything here from a filmic perspective rather than a pilot's perspective, which means that I want to get some shots in a certain way. So let's go back here. For instance, with these guys here, I actually am not even trying to film them yet. I'm trying to scope out the land. I'm trying to figure out where on this whole square of grass basically are, all the people in the shot. And we were told about the bombs. We were told basically that the bombs were going to go like in a snake pattern, but we didn't know when they were going to blow. And we had no idea that these guys were there, these guys were there. We didn't know what the story was going to be and everything. So the first few minutes is basically me flying, trying to figure it out. And if I do get a good shot, then I do get a good shot. For instance, this one was pretty cool. We go up here, we have a look at him, and then I see in the background over here that there's some guys. So I didn't even think about making that a cinematic shot. I just want to see what they were doing and if they were about ready to go. And they looked like they were a bit off. And look at the reception here. This was quite wild. So I had to, of course, punch it and go up in the air and regain some control. So now I know what's back here in this whole area. I need to know what's going on up here. And this was a little bit harder for me to understand because I do see a trench and I do see this one thing, but I was expecting more. So right here, we do see a good example of what I mean when I say that I'm not trying to fly this as a pilot, but more looking of it as a movie. When I go down here, I want to do a sweep like this. And I imagine my shot being cut right there. So I don't want to go around him and do like multiple orbits around him because that's just not very good in a movie. It has its place, but it's something that I find is far too overused. So instead, I just do what I do, and then I kind of look at the situation again. I actually use this time to just look in the distance as well, what is there. The reason I do this weird turn right here is because I'm shifting in my chair because I know I'm going to be flying for 10 minutes. So I want to be seated better. And then we're back, and now I'm hunting for a good image. So I see this guy coming out, and I think, wait, that's interesting. We follow that guy over here. I'm hoping that the cannon's going to fire, and luckily I see him raising his arm. So I actually try to follow the shot, and I do get it, and that looks pretty cool. So we go through the cloud over here, and notice I'm scrolling on a scrub wheel right now to show you this better. So the real footage is going to look like, the real timing of it is going to look like this. And this is, of course, unstabilized and everything. I did think that the Avata flew really nicely. But something like this, as you can see, there's a little bit of prop wash. I am being a bit hard to it, and my trajectory was just off. And this whole orbit here is what I mean that I see a lot of pilots do and use for their footage, which I don't like. So again, I see the shot ending here, basically. So this is just me trying to figure out what they're going to do, and then I'm positioning myself behind them because I want to get ready, and he backs up a little bit, so I back up a little bit, and they are not really doing anything. I do get like a few shots from him, and then I want to move on because I see somebody moving over here. But I know a charge is right there. That's where you see the dirt patch. So I'm figuring this guy's going to drive over there, and that charge is going to go off, so I want to get myself in position. So I was kind of hoping that it would go off now and have this big boom above here, and I could reveal it on the other side, but nothing happens. And nothing happens, and nothing happens. So I decide to fly this way, which is pretty dumb, flying over that charge. But hey, we go over here. I want to look at the trench. I do a very quick dive down. I don't really care how my dive looks. I just want to get in position and get this shot right here. So I want to move on to the other guys over here. We have a look at them. And then it's basically about hunting for more scenes. I see a guy getting splattered over there to the left, but I'm so far away that it's not something I want to see. But I am coordinating with Michael, who's up in the air, so I know that over here there's going to be an explosion right now. So as you can see in the background, revealing the guy, seeing the explosion, and then I see him beginning to move, so I want to follow him. And notice this was pretty trippy actually. So a lot of things happen here. Let's play the scene first and then watch it. So this seemed pretty simple, but if you're actually looking at it, I'm looking at the guy running. I see the medic going after him, and I think like, this is going to be nice. Then I see the medic turning off. She's just going, oh, she's going back. So I know that I will probably have to speed this so you don't see that, because that's just not a very good movement. And when I get out on the other side of the trees, the guy's gone. This guy right here is, voila presto, magic. He's gone. So I got a little bit confused, but then I figured I would focus on this guy, and that turned out pretty good. And as you can see on the footage from the finished movie, once I put that out, I'm actually zooming quite a lot with the Avata on the finished material, and it really handles it well. Now we're looking at the charge, as you can see right here. Looking at everything here, hoping to find something good, but not a lot is happening. So again, we're out hunting for shots, because this is not a one take. This is about getting usable shots for the job, basically. And that's also why I brought the Avata out. I thought it would be interesting to use this on a professional paid gig. So we get a nice shot here, and I hear, when I'm right here, I'm sitting next to the tower, and I can hear her yelling something. I don't know what she's yelling, but I know that the cannon is here, so I thought I better look at it. And as I turn around, I see the guy's raising his hand, and I just realized that I want to get that shot. The problem is my rates are a bit off, in the sense that I haven't flown that much with the Avata. So as you can see, I'm just overturning, which is definitely a shame. Would have been cool to do this shot differently, but again, it's live. What I figured I would do instead is I would just speed this up in post. So what actually happens is this, and I know that this brown sky down here means that there's a lot of debris falling. You can see some prop wash right here. And then I want to go sideways through it while looking at this guy, and that turns out pretty good. So we're going over here, yells medic. We go down here, and this is also another lucky moment. I see this guy, I see the guy in the background, so I want to fly here, hoping that there was some more stuff down there, but there wasn't. But I am flying over a supercharge, like right over it. If she had blown this here, there would be no Avata left, basically. So we go over here, and right here I see this guy running, and then he slows down, and I get this kind of feel that I want to do something specific with this. So I'm pretty lucky. We see the explosion in the background. It hits right here. And then he backs up, which means that I have to avoid him. But I did fix this in post really good. But here's another interesting thing where you can see how difficult this is. I'm looking at this guy right here. I know that there's a guy there. I basically see all of them. But as I go close here, he goes backwards, so I have to compensate for it. But I don't want to let go of this scene because there's more to it. So I go around here. Now, as I go around here, this guy just ducks down. Look at this guy. He goes, and he's gone. So when I'm over here, even though I'm pretty aware of everything, I actually forget about him. And I don't notice him in my goggles. If he had stood up right there, that would have been a different shot. But they're wearing helmets, and they all know that I'm flying there, so that's fine. Now, I fly over here through the smoke because you gotta. And I do feel that this is the most interesting part of the shot. But as I get closer, I notice that somebody over here is doing a rapid movement. And sure enough, let's look at it. It's a run. And it's an iPhone. But, well, I do kind of get it. I mean, these guys are definitely wanting to do this thing. So, of course, they're filming. I mean, that's fine. But the shot in itself, I do think is pretty awesome, actually. If we have a look at this again, go down like that. I do want to do a fast turn because I'm not that worried about this being smooth in post. I want to get the right shot. So I just kind of level out the quad, as you can see with that little dive right there. And then I want to stay on the same plane as her. We go over here. And as you can see here, he notices me, which is pretty cool. And then he decides to shoot. And that's, again, one of those things with a live event like this, that I'm not looking to get like the most cinematic one take ever. I'm looking to get an interaction with the people there and getting the right shots. And this turned out pretty good. And after that, we see somebody over here. Oh no, somebody is on the ground. Oh no, we gotta help them. And then we go over here. And once again, the Avata just flies fantastic. I mean, this is a pretty, what is this? This is 7 minutes 55 into it, and it has plenty of battery power. So if you notice, this is just not full power, it's a lot of power, and then we go down and it just stays very smooth. I'm lucky though that this guy didn't raise his feet up. That would have been bad. So there's an exchange. We want to watch some stuff. I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. And there's that phone again. But again, I just want to get away from the phone, not to break too much of the immersion. So we go over here. And at this point, I realized that there's something going on in this area. This guy is moving in over here. And my friend Michael has noticed the same from the air. So now we want to focus on this area over here. As a shot. And actually, let's play out the scene and then watch it after. So this and that. Okay, so this was pretty tricky because I have a certain momentum when I'm coming here. And I see the guy going to the right. I want to break off and follow him. But if you notice his clip up in the air, like right here, then he drops it. Or I suppose that he forgets to pick it up. And then he just changes and lunges back at it. So I have to go straight up. And then I know I want to film these guys here, and I want to go straight down. And this is one of the points where the Avata actually has, it doesn't have too little power. I just need to be more aware that I need to be a little bit harder on the throttle stick in a situation like this. So look at how close I get down here. I should not have recovered from this because I am basically hitting the ground full on. So that was very, very lucky. And we go over here. We're looking from the trench right now as they're approaching out there. I know that my friend is closing in as well. So now we just want to get some good trench shots. And as I go over here, I was hoping that they were going to do like a march or something, but apparently they're getting some instructions, which is pretty boring. So we're going to go behind them instead and hope that this happens. And now we're rolling. Now this looks like a movie more. And we go past them. There's a flag being waved. They're yielding, the sons of bitches, and now they're getting out. And at this point, again, I have no idea what's happening, so I'm just watching this as it goes along. Let's watch this in real time. And oh my God, look at the guy over here. He's making a run for it. So gotta react to that, and he gets shot. That's perfect. Down you go, man. Stay down. So we look at him a little bit, and then basically I think that this is about close to being the end. So I want to go up in the air to have an overview, make sure there isn't something I've missed. And as I go up in the air, I notice a scuffle down here. So at this point, I could try to fly down gently, but seeing how fast that last thing happened, I knew that something was up. So I basically did a very fast turn. And as I did that turn, I see over here that he's trying to break away. And I'm just hoping I can save this in post. So he's running, and unfortunately, these guys are a bit in the way, but I still think that it panned out pretty good. Look at that, playing dead, that's pretty good. So as I go down here, another really cool thing happens. Play this in real time. Notice how these guys don't stop for the drone. That was fantastic, because normally you would have somebody going like, and then they back off. So look at how pro they are. They are not missing a beat, so we're gonna go frame by frame. They're not even looking at it. They don't care about it. It's just fantastic. So after that was just about doing kind of like a small flyby through the whole thing. Like there, watching the audience clap, and that's it. It's over. That was super nerve-wracking. I originally wanted to do a live commentary, but to be honest, there was so much action going on and it was so loud that I couldn't concentrate. So I don't even know if any of the commentary was actually good enough. Over there by the explosion in the water, I felt it so hard in my chest that I actually yanked the sticks. And then I was like, okay, it's go time. But this was pretty fun. I mean, this was on, what was it, about 11 minutes flight with the Avata. And honestly, I'm really happy about that battery life. when I landed, I still had, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes left, and it enabled me to actually pause over there and just wait. It was fantastic, and it handled really good. I mean, as you can see on the video, this was a pretty demanding flight where I had to be everywhere at once, and I didn't know too much about what was actually going on, so I just had to like create a story as we were going along, and I missed some explosions and I got some other ones, but the main story about how the war played out, I feel I caught pretty well. And this was with audience all over the place. It was pretty nerve-wracking, but it was kind of fun. Now, I'm gonna go home and color grade, and we'll see what we can get out of it.